Thank you for joining us for 3Bs on the Law podcast, hosted by Trisha Barita, Camille Canali, and Susan Dawson. Disclaimer, this podcast is for entertainment and informational purposes only, not meant to provide legal advice, and does not create an attorney-client relationship. Also remember, laws change or they differ by jurisdiction, so this is not a substitute for seeking legal counsel in your jurisdiction on the current law applicable to you.
Welcome back. I am excited to have our special guest B of the podcast, Maria Viti-Welch, who I have known for, a few years now, right, Anna Maria? And you are president at the Guy Vitti Insurance Company, which is a third generation company. You're a third generation acting as president. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the company?
Yeah, my grandfather started in 1938. We're a full service agency, which means we can help any type of individual or business with any insurance needs. We're licensed in most states, and we're an independent agent, which means we represent many insurance companies, so we can shop insurance for you. We're located in Highwood, Illinois, and we also have an office in Chicago.
So how has business insurance changed as a whole with COVID-19?
Well, I will tell you, first of all, premiums are going up. So everybody hold your hats on because of all this looting and, protesting. The property insurance is going to go up tremendously, I would say, starting in the next 6 months. Also, it's been the underwriters at the insurance companies are being a little bit more strict. So for instance, restaurants, a lot of the insurance companies don't really want to insure them right now. Or if you have a building that you own and a restaurant is one of the tenants, they are not really wanting to insure because of vacancies. A lot of these restaurants, I hate to say, are going out, and it's affecting, the underwriters and how they feel. I will tell you, somebody wanted to have wedding cancellation insurance, and he called me, I'm going to say about 2 months ago, because he's going to have a big wedding supposedly in a year. And the underwriter said, yes, I will write this, get me an application. The guy waited a month too late, and the guy said, we're not doing it anymore. We have a moratorium on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is there any good news that we can tell business owners?
Well, I will tell you that I know that a lot of business owners are very upset about business interruption, how it's not covered, because it's triggered by a physical damage loss. But I will tell you that the workman's comp for your employees, if they do get sick, they will pay 2 weeks.
In Illinois.
In Illinois, yeah.
In Illinois, it's a state issue.
They will pay 2 weeks for that person to stay home instead of hopefully them not making a claim. So that's going to be less out of your pocket when you happen to, so you don't have a claim, if you know what I mean.
So when it comes to workers' comp, check with your insurance company and see if your state has a benefit for you. That's what you're saying.
Yes, or how are they treating, your employees if they do get COVID?
So one of the things that we see, at least in California, there are tons of attorneys doing advertising. Like they're on television, they're on the radio every time. I'm in the car, I hear them asking businesses to bring them their business interruption claims. Do you have any comments about how those are being handled?
I will tell you that most of our clients, have lawyers that are doing that too. But I will tell you, in 2003, they did rewrite business interruption because of the SARS. And so it's not like it's a mystery or it hasn't been like that. Now, I will tell you that, when agents explain exclusions and what is covered, I don't think anybody in their right mind would have said that it's not going to cover a virus or a pandemic. I will tell you from 9/11, there's now terrorism coverage, which they didn't have before. So we will see what happens after this. But just imagine every single business making a claim at once. It'll bankrupt the insurance companies. And then the losses that you have now that you're waiting for to be closed or paid, they'll have no money.
So,
Oh, yeah.
do you see businesses, for example, being able to buy virus protection coverage, kind of like I can buy earthquake coverage, but it's separate from our other policies?
Not yet. I will tell you there might be one excess market company, and that's not regulated. So they might say that you have the coverage, but I would be very, very leery because, again, what's going on right now. Someone might want to try to trick you or get your, money in it. There really isn't a lot of coverage there.
Was there a pandemic rider? I thought someone brought up on another podcast about a company that had had pandemic rider. No, you didn't. No, maybe I'm misunderstanding. No. Okay. What about EPLI insurance, Camille?
Okay.
That's another issue that's going on for businesses right now. That big concern about being hit with employee claims.
Right. Exactly. So hopefully, if you have employees, employment practices liability protects the employer from the employee for, sexual harassment, wrongful termination, discrimination. So just imagine a lot of these companies that have, that are downsizing, and, anybody can sue. That's the problem also. So if they feel like they're not getting a fair shake, then, they're probably going to sue. And employment practices liability usually will cover that.
So one of the rumors that I've heard, and I haven't seen a policy, but I've heard that some insurance companies, when you go to renew your EPLI insurance, are actually excluding any terminations having to do with COVID. So like if it arises out of being laid off or anything like that, that there's an exclusion there. Have you seen that?
I haven't, but I will tell you that it's very hard right now to get directors and officers coverage if you're new in employment practices liability. And that is another premium that's going to be going up is EPLI. So you have to remember too, they really have to look into it. As far as an exclusion because of that, no. But again, I tell everybody, document, document, document. Everything you're doing.
My phrase.
We have a whole podcast on that. A whole podcast that says document. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because with EPLI, generally wage and hour isn't included in EPLI unless you have a rider for that. So I was just curious if insurance companies were now the Family First Coronavirus Act is not wage and hour, but it is a new law. So I'm just not sure how insurance companies were treating that. But right now, you're not seeing any pushback for claims under that, but it maybe impact renewals or if you're a new business, you're trying to get it.
Yes, exactly. So it's scary what's going to happen, in the future. And let's hope things settle down and this looting goes away, especially in Chicago. It's crazy, but it's crazy everywhere. So
it is. And we just got hit with Kenosha too.
Right.
So there's just, it's just this local area right now is getting hit hard.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to also let you know that there's a vacancy clause in every property policy. So after 60 days, if it's vacant and you're leasing something, be very careful because this vandalism and malicious mischief coverage goes away.
Oh. Okay.
So you might want to talk to your agent. A lot of these companies, if they know that it's going to be vacant because of circumstances, they might put something in the file, but that's something else that people should really think about. If they were I'm not saying really burned out because again, well, like I said, the insurance company obviously is going to be called, but you might have somebody that left, all of a sudden, and you don't know where they are at. Just make sure that your agent knows about that. Another thing I wanted to talk about is cyber liability real quick. A lot of people have their, their employees at home. Make sure that you are checking what type of coverage you have, because most cyber policies are only expense. And I don't know if you know, but it's a business's responsibility to protect their clients' personal information. And as you know, even the government can't do that. So if you don't have cyber liability, you can get sued and you're not going to have the coverage. So make sure that you look and see how much coverage you have and also what type you have. Because I say cyber is like a pizza, a cheese pizza. You can add on to it depending on how much risk you have.
Considering you're in Chicago, would that be like a deep dish pizza?
Yes.
So talking about the cyber coverage, as far as like the individual business is trying to decide what their exposure is, do you kind of give advice to them on that?
Yes. Again, if you are just, I feel that everybody should have cyber liability and also expense, because again, if something happens and you're hacked, and you're going to have to inform your client, and they say it's about $224 per person. I don't know if anybody's ever received a letter in the mail from like Target or Home Depot that their information was hacked. Well, I'm sure that if you did, that you did also get the credit monitoring from them, and they have to pay for that. So that's expense. And then again, you didn't protect your client's personal information, so you can get sued. And then there's ransomware, where you open up your computer and somebody says, you need to give me $10,000 or I'm not going to give you back your information. One tip, please do not pay it. Call an IT person and call your insurance agent and see if you have that coverage also.
Good tips. Good tips.
Yeah, so it seems like the number one takeaway is cyber.
Mm-hmm.
No, get cyber insurance. Number 2 is document.
Right.
Number 3 might be don't fall for those attorneys saying, come to us with your business interruption insurance.
Right. Unless they'll do it for free, which I don't know if people are doing that, but yes. Yeah. Because I cannot imagine it being covered. I do know that some states are trying to figure out grants for small businesses because the business interruption isn't covered. So you might want to check that out. So.
Right. And I think it's also important for businesses to review their policies to know what coverage they have and maybe what they need.
Right.
Because it changes over time. And I think for a lot of businesses, it may have changed during the course of this year. Right.
I mean, your agent really should be calling you every year, or at least asking you if you want a review. It's easy to get a review. It's no, skin off our back. So, and most people don't like insurance, so they're not going to want to call, but I would suggest doing that for sure.
You're kind of like lawyers. Nobody wants a lawyer until they need one. Mm-hmm. Same thing with insurance. No one likes to talk to their insurance agent until suddenly they have a claim.
Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, thanks so much for all. That's great. Great advice. Why don't you tell everybody where they can reach out to you and contact you for if they want more information from you?
Okay, it's Anna, ANNA, VW, like Volkswagen, at VTcompanies.com. And that's V Victor, ITI companies.com. Or 847-432-1000.
All right. Well, we can't let you go without doing our 3B showdown.
Okay.
Who wants to introduce the 3B showdown today?
You do it, Susan.
I'll do it?
Yeah, you do it, Susan.
Okay. All right. Well, we have our fun game at the end of the show where we ask you a question, and then we're going to give you 3 answers, and you have to pick your favorite. So I am going to read the question. Mm-hmm. So the question is, what is the most important hot dog topping to you? And your answers are relish, onions, or mustard.
Mustard.
There you go.
That's what Trisha and I were fighting over this. Like, I'm from Chicago. What else can I say?
I think you're both the point. How's that?
Well, thanks, Anna Maria. So good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on and talking to us all things commercial insurance for businesses.
And thank you all too. Good luck.
Right,
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on today's podcast of 3Bs on the Law. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast. We also welcome any comments. If you'd like to get in touch with us or suggest a future topic, you can email us at 3THREEBsonthelaw@gmail.com. And because we're lawyers, we need to remind you that this podcast is not meant to provide you with legal advice and does not create an attorney-client relationship. Thank you again for joining us, and have a great day.